a good self-improvement book apart from the many that crowd the bookshelves? It's when the author comes from a place of experience and authority. KJ Alphons is 2 for 2 in that regard, bringing over 3 decades of experience and service to this country in his latest, his third book, The Winning Formula, 52 Ways to Change Your Life. In this book, the author shares 52 inspirational stories, one for each week of the year, 13 from his own life and 39 from individuals who are extraordinary. Each story comes with a pithy end message, and his aim is for this book to be read exactly in that manner, one a week, to allow the thought and message to percolate, to see how best you can help those around you. What struck me about the book was the range of stories Alphons Sir has shared. So many incredible unsung heroes doing work that has great impact. So congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I'm very excited to be here in conversation.
I'm deeply honored, Priyanka, that you are here talking to me. It's a privilege. And thank you so many people who turned up.
Yes. So I have to admit, sir, I laughed when I read your acknowledgements because you mentioned that post-retirement, your wife insisted you leave the house, and that's how this book came about. What prompted you to write on this? This is your third book. Why did you choose this format? And how was this process of writing different from your previous books?
See, the objective of writing this book is very simple. It is to tell the world that you can do anything you want. I've been an IAS officer, but of course, before that, I was the dumbest kid in my school. In fact, when I went to fill up the application form for my 10th board examination, the headmaster said, please ask your father to come. So when I went with my father, he said, this kid is the dumbest kid in the school, he won't get through. So let him repeat one more year. I said, no, I can't. I can't study with junior girls. So he said no, I said no. So finally, I managed to go and bribe the clerk who was dealing with the application forms, and I got my forms through. And when the results came, the first miracle in my life happened. I passed, and I got 42%. Everybody called me an idiot. He said, this guy is brainless, this guy is useless. I never ever gone in front of a classroom to participate in a competition or anything. So I was supposed to be a very dumb kid. So from 42%, this book talks about how I learned English. The Oxford Dictionary became my best friend. Books became my best friend. And I decided to write the IAS examination. I'm a very stubborn person. So when I decided to write the IAS examination, I wrote in my diary, I am going to be a topper. So I had to do, I'm an economist, but I took 3 options which I never studied before. History, sociology, philosophy. Studied for 9 months, and when the results came, I topped in all the 3 subjects. So when I went to take part in the first debate competition in the college, after learning a bit of English, by the time I finished my first speech, first debate, there were 250 shoes on the stage thrown at me. I was that good. I was fantastic. But I said, no, I want to be a debater. Eventually, I became the best national debater for 3 years. Lesson is very simple. You want to do it, you can do it.
The line that struck me when you write about this anecdote is you said, I was shameless. I just kept going.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very important lesson because so often people don't do things out of fear and worry about what everyone else thinks. But you were so focused on your end goal that you got through even the criticism. And
see, Priyanka, my approach is basically very simple. I decide on something, and I just decide to do it. And I don't care what somebody else frankly thinks. I don't. Because I'm so focused on doing it, getting it delivered. So once I got into the IAS, I said I'm going to be an IAS officer with a backbone, not with a plastic backbone, with a real steel backbone. In 27 years in the IAS, I never received a single telephone call from any politician. And I've been the district collector of Kottayam, the most important district in the country, because it is the only zero poverty district in the country is Kottayam. I was a district collector there for 4 years. I won the best district collector award. I came to Delhi as Commissioner of Delhi Development Authority, knocked down 14,310 illegal mansions of the mafia. I carried a gun for 8 years. Still, my wife got beaten up. She was left for dead. She survived. My kids got beaten up. The point is, what I'm saying in this book is very simple. You want to do something, you can do it. IAS officers, politicians, be it anybody, don't make excuses. Do not make excuses. You can do it. Number two, you have the intelligence. See, now, whole problem with our society is the moment a child is born, the parents and the teachers, they stamp them. This kid is an idiot. This kid is intelligent. This kid is a genius. Sorry, no. If from 42%, I was on the cover of Time magazine in 1994. Who is dumb? Was I dumb? So this is what, I was also a member of the new drafting committee of the NEP, the first part where we say, children, dream for yourself. Parents, please allow your child to dream for himself. Let him chase his own dreams. So this whole book is about getting our young people to dream. You start dreaming, be yourself, and chase those dreams, you will get it. No excuses. Now, you know why it's so important, Priyanka, this book is for India. Because Prime Minister says he wants to make India a developed nation by 2047. Let me tell you, unless every young person in this country is going to dream big, and is going to work hard, this is not going to happen. Prime Minister is a great man. He's done fantastic work because I was a minister. I was a tourism minister of India in the Modi's first cabinet. What we need is every citizen saying, look here, I am going to make a difference to the world. It is not just a prime minister, not a politician, not the district collector. I'll make a difference with my work. Now, this whole book is, out of 52 chapters, only 13 are about myself, my very cowboyish existence in the IAS. Rest 39 is about people, ordinary people who've done extraordinary work.
I think that's what really struck me in this book because there were so many people and stories that most of us have not heard about. How did you choose these stories? Do you have a favorite?
Well, I'll tell you my favorite story. This police constable, her name is Annie Shiva. She's a simple police constable in a police station in Kerala. She gets a call from the public saying there are 3 abandoned children there on the streets. So she goes and picks them up. The kids are 6 years, 3 years, and 3 months. She finds that the parents are from Jharkhand. They come all the way to Kerala. And both the parents are in jail. So she has no option. She takes them to the police station. And a few hours later, the kids start screaming. They are hungry. So she buys food for the 6-year-old and 3-year-old. They are happy. But what do you feed a 3-month-old kid with? You know what she did? She goes to a corner, just unbuttons, she feeds that kid, breastfeeds that kid. In India, can you imagine?
Yeah, that story really...
A country which is so
Quite
caste-ridden, divided on the lines of religion, here is a simple police constable breastfeeding a stranger kid from all the way from Jharkhand. To me, she's my great heroine. She is an amazing person. Another story. This guy called Sri Raman in Kerala. He said, let me do something. I live in the village. He still continues to live in the village. He's provided more than 200,000, 2 lakh mud pots, small little pots. He said, keep it on your window, pour a little water, birds will come and drink, they will not die of dehydration. Does it cost us anything to do this? Yeah. And there is a peon. When I was a district collector of Kottayam, I was a chairman of the medical college. There was a peon there. For the past 45 years, he is only a peon, the last grade servant in the medical college in the operation theatre. He's been feeding 7,500 people every day, morning breakfast, lunch, dinner, for the past 7 years. Just a simple peon in the medical college. If he can do it, why can't we each of us do something? This is the message of the book. That look here, hey country, wake up. You are the big revolution. You got to make a difference. You know, I hear kids being told, hey, you got to be ranked number one in your class. How many mothers tell their kids, hey, kid, you have to make the difference? How many of us tell our kids? We don't. This whole message is to parents, read this book. And there is a whole chapter called Don't Be Photocopies of your parents, of your friends or your neighbors. Just be yourself. I'm dramatically myself in the IAS. I never read the all India IAS rules, never read them. I said, I'm going to do things my way. I will do it. And why can't we do it? We can.
Yes, you just said to me earlier, I'm not only a writer, I'm a doer. And the whole idea is to put those actions even to the people closest to you, like sort of work in your own backyard, But I want to ask you, it mustn't have always been smooth sailing for you. You must have faced the wrath of a lot of people in power, important people. How did you sort of manage that? How do you suggest people deal with the blockades and the obstacles that come in their way as a result of making a difference?
Actually, Priyanka, once you establish your reputation and your reputation as an IAS officer or any officer or in any job, you establish your reputation the first 3 years. You stand up with your backbone upright like a steel. You don't bend, but you do things for people. I was a completely pro-citizen IAS officer. I met every person who ever wanted to meet me as an IAS officer. I quit IAS and became an independent MLA. And then as a minister, anybody could just walk in. And therefore, I stood up and nobody interfered. Like, I was the chief observer for the Election Commission of India. In 2004 general elections, in the most notorious constituency in the country, Madhepura. Have you heard about the place? Lalu Prasad Yadav's constituency. Day number 1, my wife told me, Madhepura, don't fool around. They will chop off your head. Don't even take your gun because, I used to carry a gun for 8 years. I secretly packed my gun. Day number 1, I arrested the Chief Minister, Rabri Devi. Day number 1. Lalu Prasad comes knocking on the door at 3 in the morning. He's an extremely clever guy. He says, Alphons, what you did is very good. My party and we will not create any problem. I said, sir, that's more than enough. Next day, his opponent, Sharad Yadav, comes and says, Alphons, we will not create any problem. Imagine in Madhepura, not even a dog barked on the election day. Not a dog barked.
Wow.
It's possible. An election observer is supposed to be a silent guy who will sit in the guest house and every day a bottle will come to you. You are supposed to live very happily with a nice chicken and drinks and go happily, write nice reports, say election is conducted properly. We were on the ground. And when I was demolishing buildings, 14,310 illegal mansions of the mafia, I was there on the road. I didn't write beautiful files. I was on the road every day in 45 degrees and in 0 degree. I was there on the ground. Why? If somebody knocks me off, it's part of my job, it's part of my profession, fine, okay. I carried a gun, my wife got beaten up. So what if somebody knocked me off? I think it's one of the finest things to die in your job, isn't it? But the fact, let me tell you, nobody dares to touch you. If you show courage, nobody dares to touch you.
So we are here at the world's biggest literature festival, and you were instrumental in a large-scale literacy movement in Kottayam. Please, can you share a little bit about that and how, those learnings can sort of be implemented in other parts of the country too?
Like what?
I want to talk about the literacy movement, the zero illiteracy in Kottayam. So can you tell us a little bit about the learnings from that time and how you feel, in your perspective, it can be used in different parts of the country?
Yeah, you see, in 1988 to 1991, I was a district collector of Kottayam, almost for 4 years. And I said, let's do something. Let's make Kottayam the best place in the country. So I had an open house every day. I said, after 9 o'clock, anybody can come and have a coffee in my house, in the collector's house. So I used to have brainstorming every day. People used to drop in, 2-3 people, sometimes 5, sometimes 10 people. One day, the founder of DC Books, in fact, he's here, DC Ravi is somewhere here. His DC Kedakamuri told me, Alphons, why don't we make Kottayam a 100% literate town? I said, where is the money? Where are the people? He said, it will come. You take the leadership. I talked to the Vice Chancellor of MG University in Kottayam. Mr. Anandamurthy is a very famous writer. I said, can we get our youngsters to work together? So it became a project of the NSS, National Service Scheme of the university. I got the entire city of Kottayam, a most unfashionable word, illiteracy. I got it into the most fashionable word. In fact, the richest person in Kottayam, the Malayalam Manorama families, Mrs. K. Matthew, she would drive to the slum and teach 3 people because it became fashionable.
Wow.
Fashionable to be teaching people. So we became the first 100% literate town in the country. That became an example for the whole country. Another thing which we did was, I took my entire district administration to the people. 2,000 people, pre-planned, getting grievances, petitions in advance, examining it over a month, and then we go and deliver. I took my entire 2,000 people. And you know how that program came? One day, an old lady walks into my house, Bangalore, in the morning. She says, she shouts at me. She says, this is my 3rd trip to see you. You are not here twice. I said, I must have gone out. It's so difficult to come and see you. I have to change bus 3 times. And finally, the punchline, like in a movie, she says, government is giving you a car. Why can't you come and see me in my village? Imagine an 80-year-old semi-literate lady telling the collector. What would most collectors do? Possibly they would call the security person and say, throw this lady out.
Yeah.
I smiled. In the evening, I discussed with my wife and my children. I said, this lady came up with that fine idea. Why don't I, the district administration, go to the village? That idea was implemented. I covered my entire district, and this won the highest human award for innovation.
Wow.
And guess where did the idea come from? Not from my brain. The idea came from an 80-year-old semi-literate lady. So if people are willing to listen to the citizen, if we leaders, politicians and bureaucrats, if we are willing to listen to the citizen, let me tell you, this country doesn't need new ideas. You people have the ideas. We just need to listen to you.
That was actually going to be my next question, is what is the advice you would give to the younger generation to sort of make the most impact? But I think you answered that.
No, I need to.
Okay.
My answer to my entire objective is to tell the younger generation, I want fire in your bellies, man. Come on, light up, have a fire in your belly and say, hey, I can do it. I'm a huge critic of the social media. You people, your biggest enemy today is your mobile phone. It's your mobile phone. It's your biggest enemy. You are a robot. You are not thinking. The truth is told to you by the beast. I'm told somebody called Beast has got the highest number of subscribers, 70 million. Beast is telling you the truth. TikTok is telling you the truth. Do you use your brains? Who is responsible? Parents. What is the mother and the father in the house doing? When you love your children most, you buy a mobile phone, the most expensive equipment, and your child vanishes. There is no communication at home. Parents are responsible for destroying the children. Please do not get lost. Why are you so keen to take your selfies and post there? Your friend gets 200 likes, you get 100 likes, and you are depressed. Oh my God, I'm gone, I'm finished, I'm useless. My God, God has created you beautiful. I was the ugliest IAS probationist in the history of the IAS Academy, but I was president of the IAS Academy. I was the ugliest, but I was the president of the IAS Academy. My dear kids, please stop worrying about your looks. Just be confident. Dream big and punch big and say, I will do it, I can do it. It's not my friend who will decide, not my parent, not my teacher. I will do it. This is the overall objective of the book.
On that note, I think summing up that social media should be used for good rather than just for vanity. But
the good part, Priyanka, I have serious doubt about the good part. Very serious doubt.
That's for another. I think we'll table that for another conversation altogether. But I would like to open up. We have only a few minutes, so we can maybe have time for 1 or 2 questions, and I'd like to open it up to the audience. This gentleman in the front, please.
Can I stand up?
Yeah. Sir, hats off to you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Had a
Thank you.
very illustrious career, and You've contributed so much.
Thank you so
All
much.
of us have ideas. All of us have ideas. If there was a portal, if you're close to the government, if there is a portal on which we can just upload a summary of an idea, how we can contribute, build up something, and in our own fields, maybe out of 100 ideas, 2 would click to the, the politicians right on top, and we could be able to make a change.
See, I completely agree with you. See, the problem is my tribe, the IAS, we are extremely arrogant. The moment we get into the IAS academy, we pretend we know everything. We don't listen. Even when I was a minister, I've taken 100% calls. It's not my private secretary who had my mobile. It's a very simple technique. I'm an extremely busy person. I slept only 3 hours a day, 3 hours. After every meeting, I would have 10 meetings a day. I set apart 10 minutes to return calls and check my messages. I replied every message, returned every call. I met every visitor that came. Now, if IAS officers are open to ideas from people like you could transform the country. Like you see, I told you the 80-year-old lady telling me. Now, of course, there is a similar solution now. There is the Prime Minister's portal is up there. You could post your ideas there, and Prime Minister picks up a lot of ideas from those suggestions by the citizen. I mean, he's a very open-minded person to ideas. And also his Man Ki Baat. Most of it is ideas which come from the people. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have just one last question. Okay, just for you.
So here,
Yeah, please. What's your name, please?
my name is Paul Yadav.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, what are your thoughts on intuition and idealistic life?
What's the question? Did you get it?
Do you want to repeat the question?
Idealistic life and the intuition.
Intuition and idealistic.
Yeah, absolutely. See, I go purely by my intuitions. But I'm not somebody who believes everything. When I want to do something, I think, and I jog every day. And I don't let anybody join me in my jogging. That is my thinking time. So in the morning, early morning, I go jogging all alone. I get all these ideas into my brain. I get the wildest ideas. I don't throw them away. I try to see how do I give a root to that idea, number one. Number two, when I take a decision, I do extensive planning. Now, take for example, there's a chapter in my book on how I got into the IAS in exactly 9 months and became a topper. Just get the book and read it. It's very simple. Take for example, when I decided to demolish the first building in Delhi, it belonged to the biggest mafia leader in the country, H.K.L. Bhagat. You know who is he? He was responsible for burning alive 5,006 in 1984 after Indira Gandhi's assassination, H.K.L. Bhagat. It's the first building I tried to demolish. I was the first South Indian commissioner in the DDAs. Everybody called me a Madrasi. I couldn't care less. You can call me whatever. Next is my planning. Everybody said, sir, don't touch him. You will be burned alive by tomorrow evening. I said, sorry. I have a very simple principle. If I catch a criminal, I catch the biggest criminal first. Not somebody who is going to pickpocket 10 rupees and you put him in jail for life. So catch the biggest criminal first. Now, next is planning. Now, my brain gets to thinking. Now, I can't go with 100 cops, 2 bulldozers and demolish. You know what is the size of the building? 2 lakh square feet. Can you imagine 2 lakh square feet? So, here it is. 10,000 policemen with guns in open truck, 25 massive bulldozers. In front of that, me and my 4 feet tall Great Dane in an open jeep, me in my Stetson hat, my gun and my cowboy boots. I'm full of drama. Eh? Nobody, this Amitabh Bachchan, Akshay Kumar can't beat me in drama. When we reached Model Town, people thought Pakistan invaded India. It was at 5 in the morning. I said, sorry, this is India. I stood on the ground for next 36 hours till this building was demolished to dust. Next day in the newspapers, the demolition man comes to Delhi, me and my dog. So, simple lesson, my dear kid. Go by your intuitions, do your homework, absolutely be determined, plan it out in detail and strike. Okay?
So motivation is just limited. It's not permanent. It's not long-term thing.
I'm sorry we have to wrap up now, but thank you. Maybe Sir can talk to you post this. KJ, so I think we could all hear your stories for much longer because you have a repository of them. Thank you for being a part of this conversation. Thank you to the
Hey,
audience.
Priyanka, thank you so much. I'm such a privilege to be
Likewise,
to have a
likewise.
conversation with you. And thank you so much, all of you.